Hello guys, and welcome back to another video here. Today, this is my Premier League Matchday 3 predictions. Of course, there will be the football show that starts from about 2:30 p.m. on the Saturday. We're going to start with the 12:30 p.m. game on Saturday, 31st of August. It's Arsenal taking on Brighton and Hove Albion at the Emirates Stadium. Now, Arsenal have had two back-to-back wins on Matchday 1 and Matchday 2. Matchday 2, they're coming off of a win over Aston Villa. And on Matchday 1, they beat Wolverhampton Wanderers. Both of those games were 2-0 wins. As for Brighton, they're coming off of I can't remember. I think they won. I believe they did. I can't remember, though. I'm not great at the remembering. Yes, they beat Manchester United 2, Everton 3-0 on the opening match day. Brighton, I know they had a bit of an easier preseason, but I've had 5 wins out of 5 in their last games, and they've been convincing. 2-1, 3-0, 4-0, 1-2. I'm going to go Arsenal 1, Brighton 1. I do think Arsenal are going to drop points on Matchday 3, which isn't going to be great for their hopes in the Premier League. Like, to win, is what I mean. Next up, Brentford versus Southampton. Now, Brentford, of course, lost. They won, I believe, 2-1. Oh, no, they beat Crystal Palace on Matchday 1, 2-1. And then on Matchday 2, they suffered a 2-0 defeat to Liverpool. As for Southampton, they're winless so far. Both were 1-0 losses, I believe. Matchday 1, they lost 1-0 to Newcastle. And on Matchday 2, they lost 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. Just using that logic, Brentford are at home. Southampton are bottom of the table at the moment. Southampton aren't great. I'm going to go Brentford 2, Southampton 1 in that game. Next up, Everton versus Bournemouth. And again, another team, Everton, hasn't had any wins yet. Of course, Matchday 1, they lost 3-0 to Brighton. And then on Matchday 2, away to Tottenham, they lost 4-0. As for Bournemouth, they've had 2 draws out of 2. Both were 1-1. Matchday 1 v Nottingham Forest. Matchday 2 v Newcastle. But they haven't done bad. They scored 2, conceded 2. They haven't won a game. They haven't lost a game. I'm going to go Bournemouth 1, Everton 0. I don't even think Everton are going to score a goal in their first 3 games, which means they will have a negative goal difference. 0 goals scored, 8 goals conceded, should I be right, after 3 match days. Up next, it's Ipswich Town v Fulham. Now, Ipswich have had a horrible start. Of course, they took on Liverpool and lost 2-0 on Matchday 1. Manchester City on Matchday 2 and lost 4-1. As for Fulham, they did lose on Matchday 1, 1-0 to Manchester United, but at home, they beat Leicester 2-1 on Matchday 2. Fulham should easily beat Ipswich, even at Portman Road. But because Ipswich have the home advantage, I'm going to go Ipswich Town 1, Fulham 2. I do think Ipswich Town will score their second Premier League goal this season, but unfortunately they will lose. And it could be a turnaround win again. I'm not sure. Up next, Leicester City host Aston Villa at the King Power Stadium. Now, Leicester City have had a win and a draw, a 1-1 v Tottenham on Matchday 1, and a 2-1 defeat to Fulham on Matchday 2. As for Aston Villa, they beat West Ham 2-1 away on Matchday 1, but they suffered a 2-0 defeat at home on Matchday 2 to Arsenal, who are a very strong. Aston Villa, of course, they do have Champions League football this season, so maybe they've got that on their mind. And Leicester City can take points away from the big side, as we saw on Matchday 1 against Tottenham. But I do think Leicester City Aston Villa will get the win here. Leicester City 2, Aston Villa 3. I think there's going to be goals galore in this game. Up next, Nottingham Forest host Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, Nottingham Forest had a 1-1 draw v Bournemouth on Matchday 1 and a 1-0 victory over Southampton on Matchday 2. As for Wolves, it's 2 losses out of 2. They lost 2-0 to Arsenal on Matchday 1 and then got thrashed at the Molineux 6-2 Chelsea. As I'm recording this yesterday, Sunday, 5th of August. So they're not looking great, but Nottingham Forest haven't been convincing. Yes, they've had a win. They've only scored 2, conceded 1. So I'm going to go Nottingham Forest 1, Wolves 2. I do think Wolves will win their game and not lose 3 in a row. And a 5:30 p.m. game, I've clicked off it, but it's West Ham United versus Manchester City. For me, it couldn't go any other way. I think Manchester City will win, but West Ham will get a goal in this game. I'm going to go Man City 4, West Ham 2. Moving on to the Sunday game, the 1:32. There's 2 1:30 games. First up, Chelsea taking on Crystal Palace. Now, Chelsea lost 2-0 to Manchester City on Matchday 1, but they did beat Wolves away 6-2 on Matchday 2. Crystal Palace, I think they've had a win, 2 losses, sorry. They lost 2-1 to Brentford on Matchday 1, and then they lost 2-0 to West Ham on Matchday 2. So Crystal Palace haven't had a great start, but then again, they could win this game. I don't think they will. I'm going to go Chelsea 2, Crystal Palace 1. Next up, Tottenham Hotspur travel to St. James. Tottenham haven't had a great start. Of course, they were held to a 1-1 draw v Leicester on Matchday 1, but on Matchday 2, they got a 4-0 victory over Everton. As for Newcastle, it was a 1-0 win over Southampton on Matchday 1 and a 1-1 draw to Bournemouth. This could go either way. It could. We've had games where Newcastle have thrashed Tottenham 6-1. We've had games where Tottenham have won like 5-0. I believe. I'm just looking at the head-to-head, by the way. In the last couple of games, it's been in the Premier League 4-0 Newcastle at home, 4-1 Tottenham at home, 6-1 Newcastle. So basically, the home side normally wins. So 4-0 Newcastle won at home, 4-1 Tottenham won when they were at home, 6-1 Newcastle won when they were at home. The only time where the away side won in the last 5 Premier League games was when Newcastle won 2-1 versus Tottenham, and then Tottenham had a 5-1 win over that. So it could go either way here. But because Newcastle are at home, I know I'm a Tottenham supporter, but Newcastle 2, Tottenham 1. I do think Newcastle can get the win here. They're not looking as strong as they have done, though. So maybe it could be 2-1 the other way. But I am going to predict, unfortunately, Tottenham to lose, which but I will. And the 4 p.m. game, it's an absolutely massive game. It's Manchester United versus Liverpool, and this is the one. Of course, Manchester United, 1 win and 1 loss. They beat Fulham opening day of the Premier League, but then they lost 2-1 with a late winner by Brighton at 12:30 p.m. on Saturday game. As for Liverpool, 2 wins out of 2. They're doing well. 2-0 over Ipswich, 2-0 over Brentford, and I think they'll win again here. I'm going to go Manchester United 1. I do think Man United will score, but Liverpool will score 2. I think it's going to win Manchester United 1, Liverpool 2. And there's no game on Monday, so that is my Premier League Matchday 3 predictions. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the football show live streams or these videos. I will be doing Premier League, FA Cup, EFL Cup, Champions League, Europa League as we come around to it. But yes, Premier League Matchday 3 predictions. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. I will, of course, see you in the next video, which will hopefully be... I'm not sure what's going to be coming up. I don't know, because there's an international break next weekend. It won't be Premier League predictions because the Nations League's back. But we shall see what we do. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See you in a bit. Goodbye.